like to have held on to it, but we'll get it back there and do it again. So we've been riding Dan a lot. When he came in, he had been ridden, but he was still really green. We've been riding him a lot. He's riding really good. I want to work on some rope work with him. He's not going to be a rope horse per se, but I want him good and broke to the rope. And I'll show you the process that I go through to get him broke to the rope. I didn't do his original groundwork. That was done when he came in, so I want to play with some things just to remind him that this stuff is not scary. I'm sure this has all been done with him before, but he needs a little bit of a reminder. This is just a halter and a lunge line. It's a Mike Major halter. It has the ring that slides on the bottom. They're pretty hard to find. Once in a while you'll find them for sale on eBay or Amazon. He might have them for sale on his website. I don't know. I don't know him. I've met him, but I don't know him. I just really like this halter for this kind of work. So I'm basically just sacking him out, making sure he's not afraid of the rope around him, which I really didn't think he would be, but I want him to learn to stand. I've talked in the past about this sacking out work is used to teach a horse to stand. Stand so you can do that. Stand so that they learn that they get still and the scary object goes away. And I don't like to do a bunch of this before we have them with several rides on them. Because if you do a lot of it before you get in the saddle, then you end up having a hard time getting them moving. Because at that point, everything that you've done with them, you've taught them to stand when they get scared. There we go. Now swinging around a little bit. And I'm sure this has been done with him before when they did his original groundwork. But the other part of waiting until we have them under saddle and riding before you do a lot of this, it really helps this work come easier. They're less worried because you've already ridden them. We've ridden him. We've got a lot of miles on him. We've ridden him a lot. So he trusts us. So things just automatically are not as scary. Swinging around on this side. And we're going to work around his head a little bit. Let's see what happens when I go over our head. Good boy. Good boy. Touched his ear that time, then come back and touch him. So it really becomes a non-issue. You work things in the correct order. Things like this that can be scary are really non-issues. So let's grab my rope now. Now I still have my lunge line attached. Now the rope's going to make a little bit of noise. So if you have any questions about what I'm doing here, put it in the comments below and I'll see if I can answer your question. And if you're finding what I'm doing helpful, if you would click the like button, and that will help YouTube know to send the videos out to other people. And I'm not really doing anything real specific here. Just want to swing it around, make some noise, let him see it. Over his face, let him know it's not going to hurt. Right there. Worried a little bit about it, just rub it on him. Good boy. And we'll walk. gonna let the lunge line drag. Later, we'll be in the saddle and we'll be dragging the rope, dragging the log. I want this to drag. I get a lot of comments about how you let that drag. You need to hold it in your hands. I want it to drag because training is going to progress towards dragging. That's why I don't ever hold the coils of the lunge line in my hand. Everything works towards what's coming next. See how he kind of scooted forward when it was touched his hip? Let's go work that now. And walk away. You see how everything is pretty much a non-issue because of going in the correct order. Let's work the other side a little bit. You can watch his face and tell he's a little concerned. And I'm going to stop before I get a big reaction because I don't want to lose the trust that we've built. Just checking out the rope. Rope's around his legs, not a big deal. The lariat could end up around his legs. I'm not going to save him from that. In fact, I'm going to intentionally put it on his leg because I want him broke to it. I'm not going to get the rope in any kind of position where I can't get rid of it, can't let go of it. I would like to have held on to it, but we'll get it back there and do it again. Stop. Get it back there again. I'd like to get it under his tail. Just let him go around, figure out it ain't hurting him. He's wanting to go forward, and just like I've talked about in other videos, forward is a friend. I want forward. As long as he's walking forward in this circle, his mind is engaging, his mind is thinking. There, good boy. If you have a friend that you think needs to watch this video, share it with them. Let them see what I'm doing and might help more people. Good boy. A little pressure, release the pressure. If he's wanting to go forward, I'm not going to stop him. There. See, now he wanted to stop there. That's where the training of stopping and thinking really kicks in, really helps. And you notice I didn't take it away immediately after he stopped. I left it there a minute. He's licking, he's chewing, he's relaxing, his ears are back on it. He's paying attention to it, he's learning from it, but he's learning that it's not hurting him. Bump it a little bit and quit bumping. Good boy. Pulled pretty hard on it that time. Most of the more specific training videos that talk about how to use your hands, how to use your legs, that kind of thing, I post on Patreon. If you want to look those up. Tim Anderson Horse Training on Patreon. A lot of those real specific horse training videos are there. And every Thursday at 9 o'clock Central Time, I do a live training video. After that is over, I'll take the audio from that and upload it as a podcast on Spotify. So if you're driving and you want to hear the topic of what we're talking about on that Thursday, and hear the questions, because I take a lot of live questions, live training questions, and talk about those. So if you want to try that on Spotify, that's Tim Anderson Horse Training on Spotify. Now let's go ahead and take it off. Good boy. Good boy. Put it back again. And refresh. A lot of people will use the rope in this position on foals to teach him to lead. He could have had that at some point. But the whole purpose of what I'm after with the rope here is I want him to get used to the rope being back there. If the rope gets under his tail, I don't want it to bother him. He's going to be used on a ranch. His owners have a ranch in Montana, and he might have to rope, and he needs to be okay with it. He needs to at least be okay with the rope used around him. And if you show in ranch trail any of those obstacles, you're going to have to throw a rope. You'll need to drag a log. I want him to where he can do all that. When they get him home, they might use him on their ranch, but I want where they can take him and they can go take him to a show, go do something with it, that he's ranch broke. So I'll keep working with that with him, and we'll be roping off of him pretty soon, throwing it off of him, dragging a log. When we're dragging the log, it's going to put pressure on his hip. It's going to put pressure around behind him. That's why he needs to be really comfortable with that right there. So this is Dan. I'll put a link somewhere to his playlist on YouTube. Until next time, thank you for watching. Kind of my mission for my training program is to try to make every horse as good as they can be. Some horses will end up better than others. That's part of it. What I have learned in training those higher level horses, that's the training program that I put together for the rest of these horses. If you want to talk to me about sending a horse to me for training, whatever breed it is, send me a message and we'll talk about it.